From a warehouse basement on the wrong side of the tracks, this is D.
It's manipulative because you're altering reality.
And Candy V.
It throws a wrench into everything. Everything.
Episode 6. Photography and the fruitless search for objective reality.
D, what is it exactly you want to talk about?
I don't know.
Oh.
Since we're down here in the warehouse basement, photography is something I want to talk about.
Interesting. Why?
Because, you know, when you look at a painting and you see it's representational.
Yes.
You look at it and what is a representational painting to you? Let's say of a landscape. What does that look like to you?
Well, it depends what you're asking here. I mean, for one, when I see a painting, there's always the question of the, what I would say is the imprint of the artist.
Right.
Right. The artist's intentions or life experience, emotion, their expression of whatever they're feeling in a moment.
So how would you say quantify that in the painting itself?
Quantify?
Yeah. So if someone, you can, okay, so I gave you two paintings, right? One's made by me, the other one's by Taylor.
Okay.
And it's we're both doing representational paintings of this office building.
Uh-huh.
We both give them to you, and you can see they're different. Why are they different?
Right. They're different because you are different people with different life experiences. And
so what was it that we did that was different?
you access different parts of your...
There's no right answer. I was just wondering.
Yeah.
If I literally gave you those two paintings and you looked at them both, how could you tell they were different? Like, you can tell that they're not photocopies of each other. Why is that?
Yeah, just it's not objective.
Yeah.
It is not a facsimile of reality.
I'll do it even more simpler. I'd say that the brushes probably didn't match.
Okay.
Yeah. Or we use different paint or something.
Yeah. I guess there could be lots of reasons.
There could be, but what you were talking about is really interesting. If you see a representational photo or a drawing, or not a photo, a painting or a drawing of, say, a person or a place or whatever, usually you can say that you can look at that and be like, wow, it looks so realistic, right? As if that person is here or whatever. But you can tell that there's always like you said, an artist's imprint.
There's a person
on there
involved.
Yeah. As in, like, their technique is maybe different, or they somehow saw the thing maybe some other people didn't see. One of the things that Da Vinci was so known for, Leonardo da Vinci, was his representation of light and how it glowed off of skin. Because the way, I don't know why he drew him that way, but his paintings look different than other paintings of people. And it's because, like you said, there's a difference in the person and whatnot. What I'm getting at here is perspective. Would you say that a photo represents reality, or a really good painting, or a video, or a hologram, right? What is it that represents reality? What's the most real replication we can get of reality?
Yeah.
Is it a photon-based simulation? Like, what would it be?
Yeah, it's a good question, because the harder you think about it, the more that falls apart, I think, because even a photograph, a photograph takes a three-dimensional and smashes it down to two.
It does. And we can forgive that. It's like we can look at that photo and just automatically, there's a bunch of assumptions that we make.
We know how to interpret it into a three-dimensional image in our minds.
Exactly.
That's absolutely true.
Yeah.
There's still choice involved when you take a photograph, too.
Lens choice, lighting, sweetening of the photo, editing.
Oh, and remember that awesome moment in, what was Ari's new movie called?
Eddington?
In Eddington, there's a scene where a bunch of teenagers during the pandemic are doing a Black Lives Matter protest against the police.
Yeah.
Right? And they're holding up their cell phones. and the sheriff, white sheriff shows up to talk to them with his black deputy right next to him, and the guy with the camera, sees both of them in frame, but this doesn't fit the message he's going for. He shifts the camera over so that the black deputy's no longer in the shot.
The white deputy is no longer,
the black guy's no longer in the shot. Just show the white sheriff, and so obviously it's not a depiction of reality,
right?
Your choice, definitely. So yeah, I'd go as far as to say that a photograph is probably just as expressive as a painting.
Over at this place, they'd instantly believe me because the people of our generation have grown up with photos and they understand what that is and everything. But like if you go backwards in time and you think about what is it that people accepted to say that was reality, well, you could give them like a really good drawing and say, look what I saw the other day, and people are like, oh wow, I can see that. But if you do that now, I'm not sure if it would be the same thing. People would look at it and be like, oh, that's a really nice drawing of what I imagine you probably saw, right?
Sure.
It's probably not taking.
You certainly couldn't use a drawing as like evidence.
Right.
Yeah.
Or if you just told someone, say like, again, centuries ago, you could tell someone, oh, I saw a buffalo. But if you say that now,
where's the video?
Yeah. And it's like we're placing our trust in different types of representations.
True.
With that being said, AI is another tool that we can use in depicting reality. And it's funny because people talk about, what is and isn't a photo. And it's weird because people have talked about this before many times. But, probably the most recent one is Photoshop. When we think about how photos are sweetened, after you take them, actually this isn't a perfect replication of reality because some of the lens choice, for example, the lens choice that you had that makes the room look bigger, right? Or the filters that you had makes some of the colors brighter or whatever. But many people can forgive something like that now as opposed to, can forgive that now as opposed to before when Photoshop and stuff like that was invented. Yeah.
We also become more aware of it. Like, there was a time when someone would see the photographs of like an Airbnb listing or a house on Zillow,
right,
and see these very spacious looking rooms and go like, oh, the rooms are really big.
Right.
But pretty much everyone knows now that that's just how they photograph rooms, and they won't be that big when you get there.
And it's kind of a known
wide thing. Everyone knows you use a super wide lens when you take a picture of the kitchen, and it looks massive.
Right. The pictures of chips on chip bags.
Yeah.
That says enlarged for texture. Like people understand that's not going to be what I get out of the bag. Or when you go to fast food, you understand that picture is not what you're going to unwrap from the paper. It's just interesting to see that there's different types of representations of things that people will consider, I understand what that's going to be in reality versus what they're being shown at the moment. And how AI is this new tool that's coming up that people use for audio sweetening or for photos or videos or whatever, and people can look at that and say that that's obviously fake and that's bad. That's not reality. That's something else completely.
Less and less, though.
Less and less what?
I think people are picking it out as being fake less and less.
Oh, sure. Yeah, but that's just it's because they're being fooled.
It's getting better.
Yeah.
I mean, if we really talk about this like weird blurring between depictions of reality and not.
Yeah.
Take what I've done recently with some of the documentary stuff I've worked on, where, I have an interview subject who says something, but just not in quite the right words for it to come across on screen without all the context.
Yeah, that's a perfect example. Yeah.
And so what I've done and gotten away with is just taking that person's voice, cloning it, and using AI to replicate them, putting those words in the right order.
Right.
Now, it's a very small storytelling sin, right? So I don't really feel bad about it or anything.
Yeah.
But the fact is that AI made something that absolutely was not this person's voice and said something that the person literally did not say, but now they did. And now it's reality.
Right.
Okay?
So a lot of people can say that way, and it makes sense to say that was not reality, and that's that you created something new. But at the same time, why is that something that we fight against and not editing?
Well, I assume it's just because it's the latest.
Yeah.
And I don't know, was there a time when people saw like the editing of a video as being
What the person said?
like a photo? No, I mean like, was it ever considered like ethically taboo to edit someone's video?
I think so. Yeah, because we look at the train, right?
Yeah.
One of the first movies ever made.
Yeah, Lumiere.
Yeah, the train arriving at the station, and how that freaked people out because they thought there was a train in the room that was coming to get them.
God.
And ran out of the theater.
Yeah.
For their lives. And it makes no sense looking back on it. But obviously at that time, they were accepting things at different perspectives, right? And so right now, we've come to understand that that editing is involved when it comes to creating something like a video. So if I were to create an edit of a video of you saying something that you didn't say using cuts and layering techniques, right, with other video and whatnot, B-roll or whatever, people would look at that video and have probably no problem with it, right? And might even know that you're saying something that I made you say in the timeline as opposed to in reality. But you use AI, and suddenly now I'm making you say something as opposed to what I was doing before.
Yeah.
And I think it's because of the acceptance, right? Because we're not accepting AI as something that can use to
but in both situations you are manipulating.
Right. That's my point. Right.
Yeah.
And it even goes so far that my point with Photoshop was that you can use Photoshop to make colors different and lights and shadows different. And people look at that and be like, you clearly doctored the photo. But the camera itself is also doctoring reality, right? At some point. Like there are some cameras that can capture more dynamic range than other cameras.
Yeah. And, I like to think about all the people whose perspective on the world and just life in general has been influenced by the beauty or raw nature that they've experienced by watching Animal Planet. Okay? Right?
That's a really good example, yeah.
So like this, I mean, it's kind of hard to argue that that's not a force for good in the world.
That's certainly what it feels like.
Right.
Yeah.
Animal Planet definitely kind of shapes you into someone who is aware of and cares about other living things in the world. I once worked with a camera operator who did work for Animal Planet. And he ruined Animal Planet for me because he told me, he's like, when you see that great footage of, first you see the antelope is galloping across the plains, and then you see the lion kind of perk up like it notices, and then it starts to stalk, and then it chases, and then it grabs it. And he's like, of course, that's cut together footage, right, for time and stuff like that. But the part you don't see is the guy on the motorcycle who is dragging a injured antelope behind a motorcycle to get the lion to run in the frame.
Right.
To get the lion to run at the right place at the right time.
Yeah.
Like we've made movies. You know how hard it is to get these shots that they get on Animal Planet? It's impossible.
Yeah.
There's no you're not in the right place at the right time that often. It's not possible.
Yeah.
And that's because they manipulate it, right? And sometimes in like kind of ethically horrible ways.
I think one of the reasons why that is so surprising, that kind of story, is because we look at something like Animal Planet and we think about it as documentary work. And when we think about documentary work, we think about capturing something in the moment as its reality. The same thing goes with reality TV, because I had the same kind of story that I shared with people about how I was working with a local filmmaker here, and one of them was not in space. This was back when I was on Earth.
Got it.
Yeah. When we were working on a reality TV show, and the thing that they did first was the interviews. They looked at they had everything scripted out, and we went onto the green screen, and the director was saying, "Okay, this is what happened. Now tell me what your reaction is to that." Right? I want
these
you
are
to be
things that
angry.
haven't happened yet.
They've never happened. Yeah. And whenever I tell that story to people, right, they wide eyes, what? That's fucking crazy. And it's because we are accepting that specific thing as reality. I think it's just because it's an expectation.
Documentary is a great way to examine this idea of perspective and manipulation.
Right.
Because and it's an area that I had to deal with a lot of discomfort in figuring out exactly what I was as a documentary filmmaker.
Yeah.
Because like you feel this burden of my job is to capture the truth, the thing that actually happened.
Yeah.
Now we've already said that just pointing a camera at it already alters reality.
Yeah.
But it obviously goes so much further than that, because you're bringing with the story you want to tell. You have an objective.
Yeah.
You have a cause. You're making a movie about healthcare, or police violence or whatever it is.
Right.
And so the things that reinforce the story you want to tell, you're going to focus on, and
you're going to ignore the other ones.
Yes,
right?
you do.
Yeah.
And so all documentary filmmaking is manipulative.
Yeah, all filmmaking is manipulative.
Yeah. And some of the guys who are known as the most popular or famous documentary filmmakers, specifically coming to mind Michael Moore and Morgan Spurlock.
Yeah.
They would both write screenplays for their documentaries before they'd even start to shoot.
And it makes sense.
Yeah. So
that's why they made such good ones.
Right. They had a very hard narrative, ready to go.
Yeah.
So the closest thing, and I'm sure there's an element of manipulation still here as well, but we saw the documentary
Catfish.
No, I think that one's actually completely fake.
Oh, okay.
But Apollo 11.
Oh, yeah.
So Apollo 11 was literally
awesome.
made out of just kind of BTS footage of the launch of Apollo 11. And it had no narration, no interviews, just the footage.
Right.
And so that was kind of the purest thing I've ever seen. It never once told us with words what to think.
Yeah.
It's still not 100% pure, but as soon as you start talking, it's a narrative. It's not a document. It's a narrative,
I'd say, we could even go further than that. And like, I was thinking about this the other day about interpretation, right? If you give someone a narrative, right, from beginning to end, you show them a beginning, a middle, and an end, you've imparted your theme to them, right, your message or whatever. But let's say that you made something with a very limited theme or no theme at all, and you still gave that to someone. There's still going to be someone out there who connects with that media in some way and will interpret something from it, right, whether or not you meant anything. Now, if I say to you just random words, water bottle, wall, west, hat.
Yeah.
At the moment, it means nothing. But were I to take those words and deliver them to you as something, and then you took it, you would start to try to figure out patterns, right, about what it is that I'm saying. And it's any kind of interpretation of anything. It's based on the person. My point here is that perspective is just a thing we have to deal with, a subjective perspective. You know, everything is filtered through pattern recognition. Everything is filtered through another person.
Yeah.
You know?
So both as communicators and as recipients of communication.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And so what is the so what of that, you think?
The what now?
The so what?
The so what?
Yeah.
That's what philosophy is, isn't it? Is so what?
Well, I know. No, yes and no. There's applied philosophy.
Yeah.
And I think this one specifically, I think, has some important application.
To me, I think it has to do with not gatekeeping, perhaps. And that's at least the way that I thought about it in the beginning, talking about photographs, because I think a lot of people gatekeep, for example, photographs, what cameras, if you should have a film camera with a specific type of lens, with a specific type of color grading. And it's like when you shoot that kind of photo, that's a real photo.
Yeah.
As opposed to what, a daguerreotype? I mean, we could keep going backwards, right? And keep in a camera obscura, a painting, right? And go from there. That's what gets to me is gatekeeping. So that would be, I guess, the applied philosophy in that sense.
As in how are we going to define art?
Yeah.
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 Well, and then I also think on the other end, the recipient of the communication, it's just like there's no end to where your skepticism should let up,
Sure.
right?
Yeah.
Or at least you should never believe that you're not getting some kind of, for lack of a better word, propaganda.
Well, a subjectivity.
No matter what.
Right. I would say subjectivity is the biggest thing there.
Yeah.
Just understand that your perspective is always subjective.
Yeah.
Because you could say, every film is manipulation, as is every book, as is everything that's presented to you with a theme. It's manipulative because you're altering reality, or you're altering events in the way that they're given to a person. But it's not always a bad thing. It's subjective is all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like to look at people's statements, whether they be about their beliefs, about reality or God or afterlife or free will.
Yeah.
I like to just take what they say and basically repeat it back as this is the truth as experienced by this person.
There you go. Yeah. Yeah.
Instead of really grappling with it and be like, ooh, how do I make this fit or how do I tear it down?
Right.
No, this is just how it is for them.
Totally.
And that's
I think that's awesome.
that's just how the whole world
Yeah.
is, I think.
I mean, yeah, well, I mean, it's everyone has their own subjective point of view, and what is true for one person may not be true for another, but that's the point of subjectivity.
So the overarching final question for this episode, is there an objective reality?
Is there an objective way to replicate reality?
Well,
No, but beyond that, I guess is there an objective reality beyond that we can replicate?
Because, I mean, if we can't replicate it, we can't describe it. We have no way of actually communicating it to each other. Is there even one?
Is there a reality?
We certainly can't prove it if there is.
Actually, that's really interesting. I'm not going to go too deep into this, but consciousness is one of the reasons why reality is so hard to explain, because consciousness itself is hard to explain.
Yeah.
But reality, we only know it because we experience it through ourselves. And the only way we experience things is through consciousness, through subjective experience.
Right.
And we have no objective to measure subjective experience.
Yeah. So I'll just leave this as sort of my final thought, is when I discovered that I'm colorblind, it really fucked with me because I realized that other people were seeing something differently than I did, and yet we described it the same.
Yeah.
And seemed to, in every other way,
Yeah.
experience it the same. You know, if something we all agree is called blue, and we have a set of behaviors related to it being blue, and we all align to those behaviors, right? Sounds like we're 100% in line.
Right.
And then I find out that what I'm experiencing as blue is not the same as you.
Right.
Right? That was crazy.
Yeah.
It throws a wrench into everything. Everything. Right?
That's really interesting. Yeah.
Is it your experience of hearing my English words?
Right. Oh, that's
Right?
actually something really interesting too. If we're talking about subjective experience and yours with colorblindness, mine with a cookie bite in my hearing, I can't.
Oh, yeah.
I can't hear, or I can hear, but my between 500 and 2,000 in the frequency range,
Right.
Is very difficult.
So
for me to
you
hear.
literally occupy a different universe
Yeah.
than I do.
Then, yeah.
Audibly.
Yeah. When it comes to
And me visually.
Yeah.
Like we walk in different universes. And, you know, it's the tackiest question ever about does the tree make sound if there's no one there to hear it fall? Does reality, to what degree does reality exist outside of senses
Right.
to interpret said reality?
Right.
And if all of our senses function differently,
Right. Well,
everything's off the table
yeah,
now.
what you're talking about, yeah, that's a philosophical question. Yeah, and that completely makes sense.
All right, I got to get out of this basement. It's stuffy.
Don't eat tacos down here, by the way.
Never again.
Yeah.
The smell
It's just
lingers.
It's just here forever.
It lingers.
Yeah, no one can hear you eat tacos in space.
You have been eavesdropping on D and Candy V. If you've enjoyed the show, please like, subscribe, review, and share. And do feel free to drop by again soon. D and Candy will always be here, waiting for you, in a warehouse basement on the wrong side of the tracks.